And now it's time for Fantasy Fanatics.
All right, and welcome. I'm Andrew Freeman.
I'm Ryan Stuppridge.
And this is Fantasy Fanatics. Welcome to the very first show, episode, whatever you want to call it. We are analyzing the top 300 draft picks for this fantasy season.
It's exciting.
Very exciting. And believe it or not, we will start at number 1. And guess who it is?
I'm going to have to say Mike Trout.
Ding, ding, ding. You're a winner, 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 chicken dinner. Mike Trout, batting average of .323, 109 runs, 27 home runs, 97 RBIs with 33 stolen bases. So he, as a utility player, he can do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what you want out of a fantasy player.
And he's 22 years young.
Yep.
He's not very old at all. Perfect for keeper leagues.
He's going to get better,
He's going to get better, believe it or not. Batting at .323. His average might go down, but I'm guaranteed runs and stuff are going to be pretty steady.
Oh, yeah.
Number 2, Miguel Cabrera.
Yes,
batting,
not a surprise.
Not a surprise at all. Batting a whopping .348, 103 runs, 44 home runs, 137 RBI, and 3 stolen bases. Now, would you take Miguel Cabrera over Mike Trout?
I think, it's really a tough question because they're both sort of similar as far as their numbers, but of course Miguel Cabrera has more home runs.
But Mike Trout has more stolen bases.
Right.
So it's sort of like...
Yeah, it's sort of a flip-flop. I guess I would take Mike Trout.
I'd take Mike Trout, especially keeper league. If you're not taking Mike Trout over Cabrera in a keeper league, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Number 3, Andrew McCutchen, batting .317, which is a down year for him.
Yeah,
the year before, his batting average was higher.
It was in the 340s,
yeah,
I think, is what
it was
it
up
ended
there.
up being. Yeah.
97 runs, 21 home runs, 84 RBIs, and 27 stolen bases. And we talked about that. We're like, his stolen bases seem kind of low. Was he injured or something? He almost played every game.
Yeah, he almost played every game. So it's not a concern of any kind. It's just a little weird.
No, I believe his numbers will go up this season.
Yeah, I mean, he won the NL MVP, so I mean, he's still, the best player in the National League, really.
Number 4, Paul Goldschmidt.
Paul Goldschmidt.
We had a conversation. I was like, who the heck is Paul Goldschmidt?
Yeah.
Most people, unless you, follow the team, you don't really hear Paul Goldschmidt on the ESPN very often.
Right. His numbers are very good, though.
Yeah, he bats .302, 103 runs, 36 home runs, 125 RBI, and 15 stolen bases.
125 RBI, is that what you said?
125 RBIs, yeah. It's high. It's up there.
Yeah, that's really impressive, too, especially for a team like the Diamondbacks that didn't get a lot of, a whole lot of offensive production.
He is the offensive production. That's pretty much what the numbers are saying.
Yeah. And I mean, he finished second to McCutchen, and he's probably the best first baseman in the game, really, as far as numbers go in fantasy.
Definitely. And then we're going to number 5, outfielder Carlos Gonzalez.
Yes.
He's our first
Colorado
left-hander in the top 10, batting .302, 72 runs, 26 home runs, 70 RBI, and 21 stolen bases. Now, his totals seem to be a little bit lower than the top 4.
Yeah.
Would you replace, would you say take Jacoby Ellsbury over Gonzalez? They're both left-handers.
That's interesting. I think I would, because Jacoby doesn't get injured as nearly as much as Gonzalez.
Gonzalez hit 26 home runs. Ellsbury hit 9, but Ellsbury has 52 stolen bases.
Yeah, and he's going to score a lot more runs now that he's on the Yankees.
Yeah, he has 20 more runs than Carlos Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And then Chris Davis is number 6. He's also a lefty. Batting .286, 103 runs, 53 home runs.
Big year.
138 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. Yeah. And there, ladies and gentlemen, is our first fantasy challenge.
Woohoo!
Ding, ding, ring-a-ding-ding. The challenge is Carlos Gonzalez at the 5th spot for Chris Davis at number 6. I think Chris Davis should be higher. What about you?
Yes, I also agree with that. I think he should be higher up just because of that giant home run total.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really big deal.
So how we're going to do this is we're going to look at their career batting average, their GIP, which is their grounders into double play, strikeouts for last season, and their RISP on their last season as well. The runners in scoring position.
So how they hit when there was people either on first, second, third, or all three.
Do they have the clutch gene? That's
Yes.
all we're wondering. All right, Carlos Gonzalez, career batting average of 300. Not bad.
No.
He only had 7 GIP last season, 118 strikeouts, and 264 RISP. So 26% of the time he could hit
Yeah.
when runners
I mean,
are in
that's a
scoring
decent
position.
number.
That's pretty good. Chris Davis, career batting average is a little low, 266. He only had 4 GIP, though. Grounders into double play. Here's a questionable thing. 199 strikeouts.
As compared to how many for Gonzalez?
118.
Okay.
That's
That's a big number.
That's
a big
81.
difference.
81 is the difference.
Of course, he hit 53 home runs. That's
53
a
home
big
runs
reason
makes
why.
up for anything. And then his RISP was pretty clutch. It's the 343, .343.
And that's really good compared to Gonzalez's of 264. So
He's definitely got the clutch gene.
yeah, so that's why we put him in front.
So Chris Davis takes over number 5 spot. Home runs are more points than steals. Home runs, you need home runs.
Oh yeah,
And RBIs. Like, if you have him on your team, we got a roto league happening. If you have him on your team, then that's like 2 areas
yeah, that's a big area
that you're going to
right
win.
there. Right.
All right. And going on the list, we're looking at number 7, one we talked about already, Jacoby Ellsbury. Also a lefty, batting .298, 92 runs, 9 home runs, 53 RBIs, and then here's the stunner, 52 stolen bases.
Yeah, I mean that's like Ricky Henderson out there.
Yeah.
The way he's able to steal bases.
Jacoby Ellsbury also got Babe Ruth over the offseason.
Yeah, I know. He
is
switched it
now
from-
a Yankee.
He pulled a Babe Ruth. He's going from Boston to New York.
It's going to happen to Boston. They're going to play the Yankees in the, not the World Series, but in the pennant race
In the
or something
playoffs.
like that
Yeah,
in the
it's
playoffs.
possible.
And Ellsbury's going to steal home and they're going to lose.
Oh,
I'm calling it. I called it.
wouldn't that be such a heartbreak?
That would-
especially for the defending World Series champions.
I would cry. Number 8, Edwin Encarnacion
Yes, from Toronto.
from Toronto, batting .272, 90 runs, 36 home runs, 104 RBIs, and 7 stolen bases. Now, me and Ryan sort of had a moment when
Right.
we saw that he was at number 8.
Yeah, that's really surprising.
I mean, he doesn't really put up, year to year, he doesn't really put up that many amazing numbers.
No.
You would think Bautista would go ahead of him.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
So at number 9, we have Robinson Cano, who is a lefty. Bats .314, 81 runs, 27 home runs, 107 RBI, and 7 stolen bases.
Yeah, and of course he's on Seattle now, and they probably had one of the best off seasons in baseball, except for
When it
the,
come to
the
pickups?
Yankees. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
that was
yeah.
a really good move by them to get Robbie.
that brings us to challenge number 2, Edwin Encarnacion versus Robinson Cano. I definitely feel like Cano should be ahead of Encarnacion.
Yeah, and I think we both agree on that.
Edwin Encarnacion, career batting average is a .265. His GIP, grounders into double play, 20 for last season. Strikeout, 62, which is pretty good. And his RISP was 303, also pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Robinson Cano, career batting average, 309.
It's a lot better.
GIP is 2 better. He had 2 less. Grounders into double play, he had 18. Strikeouts, 85.
So a little more, but
A little bit more.
it's really not that big of a difference.
And then his runners in scoring position, for hitting, he's at a .273.
So that's not too bad either, but it is worse than Encarnacion.
It is worse.
So I guess you could say Encarnacion is a little more clutch as far as hitting with runners in scoring position, but the career batting average is a big difference. That's why.
Yeah.
At least that's why I put
Robinson
Cano in front
Cano
of him.
is worth a little more, I think. He batted .314 last season.
Yeah.
It's 81 runs to Encarnacion's 90. I believe he was injured at some point.
I think you're right. He had something wrong with his finger, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And then 27 home runs is 11 less than Edwin's. But Edwin's career batting average, I mean, it's only a .265.
Yeah.
Those numbers are inflated, so they're going to come down this year.
So maybe he's high on this list because they think since he had a good batting average, that his career batting average will keep moving up and he'll become a better player.
I don't think he's. What is it?
At least that's what they're thinking.
He's in his late 20s at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a new bag of tricks at all.
No, and plus he's on Toronto, and they're in the most competitive division in baseball.
Exactly.
So, I mean, it'll be tough for them to go anywhere anyway.
So Robinson Cano wins that above Edwin Encarnacion and moves up into 8th. We thought, I mean, if you look at the other first baseman, I'd put Prince Fielder ahead of Edwin.
Yeah, I would too.
I'd push up, let's see, Joey Votto.
Joey Votto definitely would go in front of there. And I mean, even Joey Votto could even go in front of Prince Fielder, I think.
And then, yeah, Joey Votto had some injury issues last season.
Yeah.
Would you, Freddie Freeman? I'd put Edwin Encarnacion. I'd switch him with Freddie Freeman. I'd put Freddie Freeman up into the 20th spot.
Yeah, that seems fair.
Yeah, and then Edwin Encarnacion would be all the way in the 33rd spot. So we're gonna have to take a break now. But when you get back with us, we're going over the top 30 on this episode of Fantasy Fanatics, and we also have the DL of the ALNL.
And Fantasy Farm coming up later, too, so stick around for that.
The DL on the ALNL.
All right, we are back.
Yes.
All right, for the next 10 minutes, we just want to do a real quick plug. Actually, just 5 minutes, actually. We actually, for the show, one of our shows, we're going to have a live draft on SportsTownChicago.com. And we are trying to find 6 brave, competitive, Twitter-capable people to join our draft. So tweet us your emails so we can add you to the draft at Fantasy Fan Show. Anything to add to that, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, we need people to join it. I think how many people are in it now? 3?
2.
2.
I've added 2. How many have you added?
None. I don't think.
Okay.
I haven't added any yet. Anyway.
Yeah, I haven't told you the password yet.
But that's okay.
But I just want to warn people. I'm very competitive. I will trash talk, even if I'm losing. So, yeah, if you beat me, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, well it's because this, and this, and this, and you're garbage, so it doesn't matter. That's generally how I play fantasy sports.
Yeah.
I'm not in it to win it. I'm just in it to be in your face and sound like I'm right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's okay. You got the competitive spirit, so.
What about you, Ryan? Are you gonna go all full out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually pretty competitive with it. I won fantasy baseball. I won I was in 2 leagues last year, and I won one of them and lost one.
I've been in one league
yeah.
for 3 years, been 5th place every single time.
Oh, man.
This is out of 16 people, though.
Yeah.
This is a 16-person league. We're just doing 10.
So, yeah, I mean, we're doing okay. And we're going to talk more about the DL on the ALNL right after this update.
The DL.
All right, and this is Andrew Freeman with Ryan Suffridge, and we are about to do the DL on the ALNL.
Yes. And to start things off...
Yes, what is the DL on the ALNL?
Well, as a lot of you probably know, Matt Harvey, who is the Mets pitcher, he is recovering from Tommy John surgery, and he's out all season. So obviously, if you're trying to draft him, you're going to be out of luck there.
What's his time? When is he going to be back?
He's out all season, so he's going to be out the whole 2014 season because he had Tommy John.
That's horrible.
Yeah,
he looked like an amazing prospect. Like he looked like a very good pitcher to pick up.
Oh yeah, he was great. The times he pitched last year and a little bit in 2012. But he is just a pretty good player, and yeah,
it's just too bad that Tommy John surgery. It's no big deal anymore. I mean, yeah, you're out for a year, but Strasburg's been through it. So many pitchers are going through Tommy John.
Yeah,
like it used to be a serious thing. You know, like he's going to miss a year. It's sort of like MCL's like tears.
Yeah, so he's going to be out all season. So and he's still going to be like on the draft boards and everything. So obviously,
don't pick him up.
Don't take him.
He should be like 298 or something. Don't pick him up.
And Another name who's kind of big is Manny Machado. He was cleared for activities. That was a couple weeks ago. He's recovering from knee surgery that he had in October of 2013. He's the third baseman for the Orioles. He's a very good player. I believe he'll be ready to go
Any
for the end of the season.
From last year? Is he going to be decent?
He had a good year last year. I don't have I don't have his average right in front of me, but he had a good year last year, and he was really good for any fantasy team. He's one of the best third basemen in the game. Really, he's definitely in the upper half.
I'm going to throw names at you, and you say buy or sell.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Machado or over Adrian Beltre.
I would take Beltre.
Machado over Evan Longoria.
I might go Machado on this one, only because Longoria's average isn't very high, and I know
it's been dropping steadily for the past 3 seasons.
I know Machado batted in the. It couldn't have been lower than 280, so he was definitely good, and Evan Longoria always gets hurt, so
he is kind of injury prone lately.
Yeah.
I noticed that when I lived in Tampa Bay, I was like, why is Evan Longoria on the poster if he doesn't play? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What else on the DL?
Carlos Gonzalez had an emergency appendectomy during the offseason, but I believe he's fine. He also had a sprained finger in the 2013 season, which is part of his his injuries that he has every year. He's always getting hurt, but I mean, obviously he's a good player. He was number 5, I think, on our list of the top 10. So he was very good.
And some of these injuries are going to be old because the spring training is just getting started.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just now training, and that's usually when a lot of injuries actually happen, is in the spring. So we'll have a lot more updates when it comes to that.
Definitely.
As the spring goes on, the spring training goes on. And they're all in Florida,
yeah,
which I'm jealous of.
I know.
They're in Arizona.
Yeah, they're in Florida or Arizona, and of course the Cubs and Sox are both in Arizona, but the majority of teams, at least on the East Coast, are usually in Florida, and I think the Cardinals are in Florida, which
I lived right by the Philly spring training.
Okay.
That was really nice.
Yeah,
facility.
it's cool.
They have a really nice ballpark over there.
Did you go see a couple games?
Yeah, I did watch them play a little bit.
That's cool.
It's right by the disc golf.
Okay.
And if you don't know what disc golf is, Google it.
I know what disc golf is.
Yeah, it's right by the disc golf course that I play at all the time, so I'd stop by.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Arizona once for spring training. That was like in 2011. I saw a couple Cubs games and then a Sox game there, and that was fun too. But yeah. Another pitcher who is kind of a big name, Josh Johnson. He was with the Marlins for forever.
Yeah, he was.
And then he was with Toronto.
He's been moving around a little bit lately.
He's recovering from 2013 elbow surgery. He's thrown 3 bullpen sessions without any problems, and that was just recently. So he's expected back for opening day, so he's a guy to draft.
He's gonna
he's a durable pitcher.
He's missing spring break, so don't expect like amazing numbers right off the bat.
Right.
He's got to bang off the rust, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, he's got to bang off the rust, but it's just sort of like the Verlander thing where, and I'll get to Verlander in a second, but I mean he's also expected to be ready for 2014, but it's going to have a shorter spring training than a lot of people.
Yeah. Because
of his injuries and stuff. So that's sort of where Josh Johnson's at. And Derek Holland, who is a pitcher for Texas, came up, I think, in 2010. He's recovering from knee surgery he just had last month. He's expected back mid-season. So that'll be kind of interesting because if you're not careful, you could accidentally draft him without really realizing that he's going to be gone for about half the season.
Is he coming back after the All-Star break or before?
It just says mid-season, which probably means
All-Star break.
All-Star break is what he's aiming for, I'm sure. So that kind of sucks that he didn't have knee surgery later in the
if you're
earlier
gonna pick
in the
him
year.
up, you're gonna be picking him up for wins. Like he's not really a strikeout pitcher.
No,
he doesn't have an amazing ERA.
And I mean, even on that staff, he's like the third guy.
But he's a Texas Rangers, and the Texas Rangers are gonna get a lot of runs.
Right.
So he'll get you some wins.
Yeah. And the last name that we have on here for our injury report, Justin Verlander, who is recovering also from January 2014, but this is abdominal surgery. He's expected back for opening day. I know he's been limited lately, but he should be back in the full swing of things, and he'll be ready to go opening day, I'm sure. So,
yeah.
I'm not too worried about
Verlander. No matter
Verlander.
what, you're going to pick him up because he's an elite pitcher.
I'm not too worried about him.
I'm not too concerned. He has more pitch than just a fastball.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, I think we have to go on break number 2.
Yes, definitely.
But after we come back, we'll break down more of the top 300 draft picks for. We're not going to make it through the 300 today,
obviously,
unless we're doing like a 13-hour bender.
Right, and don't forget coming up also we're going to have Fantasy Farm. Very
Fantasy
excited.
Farm, man.
Yes, and we will have all that for you. So,
More Fantasy Fanatics right after this.
Yes.
Yes. And welcome back to Fantasy Fanatics. This is Freeman.
This is Ryan.
And we left off at pick number 11.
Yes.
And the picks don't go down yet. Like, all these picks are interchangeable, I believe. Like, they're all.
I'm JJ from the AJ and JJ Show.
Yeah, they definitely
Wednesdays,
are.
6
Some of you guys might have favorites over others. Go ahead and tweet us at Fantasy Fan Show on Twitter. Number 11, Adrian Beltre.
Adrian Beltre.
Batting .315 with 88 runs, 30 home runs, 92 RBIs, and 1 stolen base.
Yeah.
I mean, not strong on the stolen bases, but
No,
you know,
but he's
a home run hitter.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
Is he?
Yeah, Adrian Beltre, he's mid-30s,
Mid-30s?
maybe 36. Yeah,
I mean,
somewhere around
that's
there.
getting up there.
Yeah, I mean that's getting up there, especially like in baseball terms, and I mean, of course, he was on Boston for a while and everything. And
Number
yeah.
12, Adam Jones. I've had Adam Jones on my team, and I love this guy.
I like Adam Jones a lot too.
He bats .285, 100 runs, 33 home runs, 108 RBIs, and 14 stolen bases. A little low on the stolen bases last year.
Yeah, I had him
He
on
has
my
the speed to get over 20.
yeah, and I had him on my team last year, and he started off the season really well as far as
Didn't he have
batting
some
average.
Injury issues? Or was that the year before?
I think he did have some injury issues. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, he was gone for 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was gone for a while, and but his then his batting average started to fall a little bit. He was batting well over 300. He ended up the season 285, like you said. So, yeah, I
That
mean,
brings us to our third challenge.
challenge time.
Challenge time. So, the challenge is Adrian Beltre over Adam Jones. Now, that's for 11 and 12. I think Adam Jones should be higher than 12. So, here's the stats. Career batting average for Adrian Beltre is a .282.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Swink. His GIP, or grounders into double play, hopefully I won't have to say that every time,
Yeah.
is 17, pretty high.
Yeah.
Strikeouts, 78, pretty good for a power hitter, and his
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
runners in scoring position, he's a choker, 241.
Ooh,
That's not good.
that's tough.
Adam Jones, career batting average. We got a tweet that said Adam Jones all the way from Ashish. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much. I agree.
I agree as well.
Career batting average 279, GIP of 15, which is 2 less. Higher on the strikeouts, 136 for last season, but his RISP, he's clutch, 337.
Yeah, and that's why he should be above.
He's almost
Adrian Beltre.
34% on the runners in scoring position.
Yeah, that's really good.
And then if you look at just the normal, like he had more runs, more home runs, more RBIs, and more stolen bases. I mean, every stat is better except for batting average for Adam Jones against Adrian Beltre. So Adam Jones is the winner of that challenge.
Yes, definitely.
Definitely. So far the winners of the challenges, Chris Davis has beat Carlos Gonzalez. Edwin Encarnacion was destroyed by Robinson Cano.
Yes, there's
And
a lot of
Adrian
reasons for
Beltre
that.
has just got swatted out of the way by Adam Mr. Jones.
Who won the first challenge again? That was Davis over who?
That was Chris Davis over Carlos Gonzalez.
Okay, yeah, and a lot of people might think that's a little surprising, but I mean, you just have to look at how Chris Davis hit with runners in scoring position. That pretty much is why.
If you're looking at Roto, 53 home runs, 138 RBIs. That's 2 boxes where you're going to win if he's hot. And most of the time, it looks like he is hot because it says 138 RBIs. That's almost as many RBIs as there is games or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. So
that's crazy numbers. All right, next up, number 13, Hanley Ramirez. It's the first shortstop.
First shortstop on the list.
On the list is Hanley Ramirez, batting a whopping. This is a good batting average, 345.
Oh yeah,
345 batting average, 62 runs, 20 home runs. 57 RBIs and 10 stolen bases. I mean, they're not overwhelming numbers, but shortstop position and fantasy, shallow.
Yeah.
Very shallow. So I'm not surprised that he's put up that high, especially with that good of a batting average. You need a good shortstop. You need an average shortstop.
Yeah.
Because it goes from good to bad very quickly.
Oh, it does. Because, I mean, if you're going from, like, Hanley Ramirez, then, like if you don't get him, and then it's your time to pick a player in the draft that you could be stuck with, like Starlin Castro or Alexi Ramirez.
There's plenty of outfielders, plenty of first basemen.
Yeah.
But shortstop and catcher are like really the positions you should focus on for maybe your first 2 picks.
Yes.
Because catcher, it goes from like name a catcher. I can't.
Joe Mauer,
and then it goes all the way down to Flowers or something like that. Like, there's not very much talent in the catcher position.
If you're stuck with Flowers,
I'm sorry.
Tough luck.
Yeah.
Because that's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's bad. You don't want to get in that situation.
No.
That's a sticky one. Number 14, Prince Fielder, a lefty. He's a left-hander. Batting .279, 82 runs, 25 home runs, 106 RBIs, and 1 stolen base. The dude's huge. I'm surprised he got 1.
Yeah.
If you look at Prince Fielder, you're like, he looks like a MMA heavyweight fighter.
Yeah, kind of. He's actually a really good defender at first base, which is kind of surprising. He moves pretty fast there on.
Yeah. Didn't they just report
there
that he slimmed down for spring training?
I think he did. I think he reported to Rangers camp. I think he lost some weight. Yeah.
Big news. Yeah, he got traded to the Rangers, which
was
that's just going to make the Rangers more dangerous.
Fielder for Kinsler straight up, which was really
a fantastic trade.
Yeah,
if you think about it,
like it really didn't really hurt any team.
Kinsler definitely has his hot streaks, and he's a great second baseman.
Yeah.
But if I could pick up Fielder, I'm not going to even think twice about that.
No.
Number 15 is Ryan Braun.
This is a little surprising because I mean, he's his last year in 2013. You know, he had the whole steroids issue, and then he was out for most of the year.
A lot because the numbers are not. They're nothing.
I think he only played like 30-something games, 40-something games.
I guess ESPN's thinking, Ryan Braun is going to start shooting up again on steroids because they put
that's
him
what they're projecting.
Number 15. He had a .298 batting average, 30 runs, 9 home runs, 38 RBIs, and 4 stolen bases. I mean, he didn't really play that much last season, and this is more of a guess. For ESPN than anything, because it's hit or miss with Ryan Braun. He's on my avoid list.
Yeah, I would also avoid him because just for the fact that you're not so sure what you're going to get out of him, and even
what's he like without steroids? I mean,
because the chances are he's probably been juicing up his whole career, at least ever since he got into the majors in 2007. So
I'd rather interesting. Number 16, Troy Tulowitzki, batting .312, 72 runs, 25 home runs, 82 RBIs, and 1 stolen base. We had a huge debate on should Troy Tulowitzki be over Hanley Ramirez.
And
we ended up
tough.
not touching on it because you said that Troy Tulowitzki is injury prone.
Yeah, he's very injury prone. I mean, he's a great player, and he's the best
He hits power. I mean,
he's one of the best shortstops in the league.
Yeah, he's at number 2 on this.
Yeah,
list,
he's the number 2 shortstop on that list. And then after that, I don't think there's many shortstops for a while, except Jose Reyes might be next or something.
Is the next shortstop.
Yeah,
so
and it's interesting.
Positions. So Troy Tulowitzki, that's another challenge. Ryan Braun versus Troy Tulowitzki. Now, let's go over the lifetime stats, because that's what's important here, because Ryan Braun did not have a good season.
No.
So, let's see here. I don't even have that on here. I guess it was automatic. It was definitely Tulowitzki over Ryan Braun.
Yeah.
We're actually telling you to put Braun on the back burners, maybe not even top 100.
Yeah, he should be on the free agent list for the majority of the year.
Yeah,
I'm hoping.
I just don't touch Ryan Braun. Tulowitzki, though, definitely should be in the 15th spot. Mm-hmm. Way more valuable than Ryan Braun is, because outfielder position way deep. Number 17 is Carlos Gomez, outfielder. Okay. Batting .284, 80 runs, 24 home runs, 73 RBIs, and 40, count it, 40 stolen bases. That's a lot of stolen bases.
Yeah, that's great.
That's a lot of free points in fantasy. And stolen bases are very important in Roto, which is you have your each individual box for each individual stat, and then based on how many you get, you win that point. So you definitely want to win in the steal category. You want to win in the batting average, home run. You want to get as many boxes as you can. And it looks like he's good in average. He's decent in runs. Home runs is a surprise for someone that can steal bases.
Yeah.
Because he has 24 home runs and he stole 40 bases. 73 RBI is not impressive. But
no.
And everything else, he's really going to help you out on your team. Another surprise, number 18, second baseman, Jason Kipnis, left-hander.
Yeah, that was a surprise for sure.
I didn't think anyone would go over him. I don't know much about Jason Kipnis. I know he's been in the league for 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, a couple years with the Indians and stuff. So
yeah, I think he just came in last season. Well, not last season, the season before that, 2012. Right. Batting average .284, 86 runs, 17 home runs, 84 RBIs. And 30 stolen bases. Not bad. Not bad at all.
No, not bad.
All right. Number 18. Actually, number 19. We just did number 18. David Wright. Batting .307. 63 runs. 18 home runs. 58 RBI. And 17 stolen bases. Now, was David Wright injured at all?
David Wright was injured for a good part of 2013.
Okay, that's why his numbers just seem a little low for David Wright. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, I think he's going to have a really good year this year.
Yeah, I completely agree with you.
It's not a breakout year because he's already broken out. He's been one of the best third basemen forever, but he's definitely going to have a good year. And the Mets as a team are getting, and especially in a competitive NL East.
Are you talking about the New York Mets?
Better. Yeah.
My dad loves the New York Mets. So
really?
I'm pretty sure, if he was listening right now, you're yeah, that's right.
I think they're definitely a team to watch out for because, the NL East is always competitive because you're always going to have Atlanta, and Washington's good now, and the Phillies are decent, and the Marlins suck, but that's the Marlins. So, it's just...
yeah, the Marlins have just...
The Mets could definitely
you can ignore the
creep
Marlins.
Up on some teams, for sure.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool that your dad's a Mets fan. I don't think there's not too many Mets fans.
He's from New York, so
okay, yeah.
Where are the Mets at in New York?
They are in. They played in Queens.
Yeah, my dad's from that area.
Yeah, well, I'm just surprised I'm a Yankees fan because every time you think of New York, you're like, oh, Yankee fans.
Nah, when he was a little kid, that's what he hung out with. He was right by Mets Stadium.
That's pretty cool.
Of course, he couldn't afford to go to a game, but I'm pretty sure, he really liked the Mets. He was a huge fan.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think back in the day, the Mets were pretty decent.
Yeah, they were. We're
talking about the 50s.
Well, yeah, but then also the Miracle Mets in '86.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably excited then.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
definitely. It is 2:55. We are going to take our third break of the hour. We will be right back after this. Stay tuned. We will have a challenge against David Wright, and we'll let you know who he's against right after this.
Yes.
We got some swag.
Yep.
All right, we're going over top 300. Not all 300 today, but we are breaking down the next 300 for the next few weeks up until our draft, which is on March 20th, and it'll be during our show. We're going to do a live ESPN.com draft.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting, actually.
Live
It'll be really
on
interesting
air.
to see how that turns out, too.
I'm stoked. I know I'm going to defeat you all in the draft. I'm going to have the best draft picks, but the draft picks aren't what matter. It's what you pick up on the waiver wire.
That's right.
Now, last season I picked up Alex Gordon. I don't want to toot my own horn, but it was the greatest pickup I've ever made.
Yeah?
Fantastic beginning of the season, middle of the season. It's all right.
Yeah, he's always been a good player.
Yeah, he's a good player, but he definitely has his hot and cold streaks. And if you want to be part of our draft, our live draft, and our MLB Fantasy League, go ahead and tweet us your email at FantasyFanShow on Twitter, and then we'll get you part of that. As long as you have a Twitter handle yourself and you're online and you're very vocal and competitive, we will add you.
Yeah, because I don't want like a person that's going to be playing and then just like stop playing in the middle of the season, which always happens.
I'm losing.
In
I give
leagues.
up.
Yeah,
I'm done.
so I mean, people always end up doing that.
We're gonna have some of you guys like we have two people right now. One of them's Ashish, my friend, and Casey.
Yeah, and I'll get a couple of my friends to join for sure. So,
and then we'll get a couple of your friends. We just need some fans of the show to get added on, and we want trash talk. I mean, we're gonna do some call-ins for people. We're gonna have tweets on your what your players are doing.
Yeah.
What's going on in your league? Tell us what your hot player is and what you're excited for, and that'll be all part of the show. Like the people in the league are part of our show.
Yeah.
It's not just you and me. It's actually
it's very interactive, which is
it's
good.
interactive, and there's 8 other people, and anybody else that wants to tweet us, hey, we'll probably say something to you.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
All right, and we were left off at we were about to challenge.
That's right.
David Wright might go down in this challenge to number 20. Joey Votto. He's a left-hander batting .305, 101 runs, 24 home runs, 73 RBI, and 6 stolen bases. Joey Votto, number 20. Versus David Wright. Let's look at the stats. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, there they are. Okay. I was like, I don't have stats for this either. Nope. Okay, the stats. David Wright, career batting average, .301. His GIP for last season, 11.
Okay.
Strikeouts, here's what surprised me.
Yeah.
79.
Yeah.
That's not very many.
No.
His RISP, that's his, is he clutch? It's a clutch gene.
Yeah.
Is 284.
That's pretty good.
Joey Votto, career batting average, .314. A little bit better.
Yeah.
GIP, 15, a little bit worse. Strikeouts, here's a deal breaker. 138 against 79.
Yeah, that's
It's about double.
that's interesting.
His RISP is a little bit better at 291.
This is really a toss-up.
It's really a toss-up. Like we said, David Wright was injured throughout the season. I don't think Joey Votto was injured too much.
No,
so
he
of
wasn't.
course, I think we looked at it. David Wright played 30 less games, 20 less games, something like that.
Yeah.
And he only hit 6 less home runs, and he almost matched him on RBIs, and he beat him in stolen bases.
And that's why we both thought that David Wright would be higher.
Yes, David Wright keeps his spot at 19. Joey Votto loses.
Because
defeated.
if Wright wasn't injured, he would have put up
better numbers.
more efficient numbers than Votto.
I mean,
for
stolen
sure.
bases would have for sure been in the 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And his home runs would have surpassed Joey Votto's no problem because he's at 18 and he had 20 less games. And that leaves us with 21. Our second starting pitcher, Yu Darvish. The dude's a beast, and he plays for Texas. Anyone that plays for Texas, I like. I mean, their home run, they hit so many home runs.
Yeah, they do.
Yu Darvish was 13-9. And this astounded me. He had 277 strikeouts.
Wow.
That is a lot of strikeouts, with a respectable ERA of 2.83 and a WHIP of 1.07.
And also, if you remember, it was either his first start last year or his second start last year. He was 1 out away from a perfect game.
Yeah.
And he gave up that base hit up the middle to... It was somebody on Houston, which was ridiculous. But yeah, it was somebody on Houston.
Houston, at this point, is just like a farm team.
Yeah.
Like, in my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the money to get a good team together.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely... Well, see, they're going to go about it sort of the way the Cubs are, but they're not... but the Cubs aren't as bad as the Astros are. But the Astros, have a good farm system, and when these guys start coming up and playing good, then you'll sign a couple key free agents, like a good pitcher or a good hitter, something that'll put you over the top to get into the playoffs.
At number 22, I mean, I love this guy. He's aggressive. He ticks a lot of people off of how aggressive a player he is. It's Bryce Harper. He's a lefty, batting .274 with 71 runs, 20 home runs, 58 RBIs, and 11 stolen bases.
Yeah, I mean, I love Bryce Harper.
Yeah, I believe he got injured last season.
Yeah, he was hurt for a while.
I mean, he plays really hard, so he's going to get injured, but he's also going to get you points.
Yeah, he kind of reminds me. Now but he kind of reminds me of Aaron Rowand. Who played for the Sox and the Phillies and other teams, but he just the way he crashes into the walls to make catches and everything. It reminds me a lot of Aaron Rowand, and
he's pedal to the metal, man. He's always trying his hardest.
Plus, I like the Washington Nationals a lot because I like Ryan Zimmerman. He's one of my favorite players.
Huge turnaround team.
Yeah,
3 years ago, people would make fun of this team.
Yeah, I know. They were the worst team in baseball in 2006, and yeah.
I think someone did an article I read about how they were disappointed that they used to sit down and enjoy the games, and win or lose, it didn't really matter. But now they're winning all the time, so now expectations are risen.
Yeah.
And you have the full-on fans. So he's disappointed that his team's doing good. I think I'd be the same way for the Cubs. If it wasn't just about going and having a good time and actually expecting them to win.
Yeah, I mean, every time I go to Wrigley Field, I expect them to lose. Usually,
yeah. Well,
every time I walk in, I'm like, I'll just enjoy the experience. I know they're going to get killed.
The one time I went to Wrigley Field, I got there a little late. It was the end of the first inning. San Francisco was beating them 5-1.
Oh man!
I was like, do I even want to go in?
Yeah, that's.
But it's
tough.
I've never been to Wrigley Field before, so of course I went in. I sat in the Budweiser bleachers.
Okay.
For some reason, there's this huge.
I've never sat in the bleachers, but I really want to because I hear it's a completely different experience.
It was very different, but what really was horrible is I was sitting behind a press box or something.
Okay.
There's this green building-like thing.
Yeah,
if you're sitting
the middle,
on the corner
right?
of the bleachers,
yeah.
You can only see half the left field or right field or whatever.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
I was so sad.
Yeah.
I was like, this is my Wrigley Field experience.
So that was your first game?
First game, yeah.
At Wrigley Field. How long ago was that? That was
last year.
Okay.
Last year, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been all over, man.
Yeah, I mean, my first Cubs game real quick, it was in Milwaukee. It was the Cubs and Brewers in 2002. I went with my dad and my grandpa. The Cubs won in 10 innings. Moises Alou had a double in the 10th or something to
I've actually
win the
seen
game.
more Texas Ranger games than I have Cub games.
Hey, well, the Texas Rangers is a good team to go and see.
Oh, they lost every time. I'm cursed.
Yeah, that kind of sucks.
Every team. I've lived in Florida. I've lived in Texas. Now I live in Chicago. I've gone to maybe 10 Major League Baseball games in my life. Every time I go, they lose.
Man.
I am a cursed man.
And then my first game at Wrigley Field was in 2005, and that was the Cubs and Brewers or something, and Carlos Lee hit 2 home runs out of the park, and I went on to Waveland Avenue, and I was really sad. And, yeah. But I got a Ron Santo bobblehead. So good.
At least you weren't at the drop game, because that one.
Oh, yeah, no.
You probably would have never been the same after that.
No, I don't think so.
Number 23, Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia? Pedroia.
Pedroia, I think is how you
Pedroia?
pronounce it. Yeah.
I'm sorry that I
Dustin
slaughtered your
Pedroia.
name. He's batting a 301, 91 runs, 9 home runs, not really a power hitter, 84 RBIs, 17 stolen bases.
Yeah. He's a good player. He was, he's the second baseman for Boston. He had really good numbers in the playoffs. I think particularly the World Series, he had really good numbers, which is a big reason why they won the World Series. So.
Yeah. Number 24, we have another shortstop, Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond. This is a little surprising, too, that he was this high on the list. I mean, he had a pretty good year, but this has been his only good year. He's played maybe 4 seasons maybe, as the Nationals shortstop.
With Ian Desmond, I think I'd push him down.
Yeah,
I'd push him down to 30s. Jose Reyes, to me, is a better shortstop.
Yeah, I would put Jose Reyes above Ian Desmond just because of the history, sort of.
On this list, Jose Reyes is 31. We'll get to him, but it's just surprising that Jose Reyes is not over Ian Desmond.
Yeah.
Because 1, he's a switch hitter. 2, he can steal bases. 3, he can also hit power.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even... Yeah. Get Jose Reyes before you pick up Ian Desmond.
Yes, I agree with that.
Number 25, Evan Longoria.
Okay.
Batting .269, not very good at all. 91 runs, 32 home runs, 88 RBIs. I mean, he has good numbers across the board. It's just his batting average. He's hot or cold. And it seems like he was more cold last season than hot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you remember. I think this was 2012, that crazy last day of the regular season for baseball, and then the Yankees were down in Tampa Bay, and the Yankees had like a 9-run lead, and Tampa Bay came all the way back, and Evan Longoria hit that walk-off home run.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Very crazy.
He's a clutch player, though.
I was at a game where Matt Damon, we were behind, the Yankees were beating us, and Matt Damon destroyed. I mean, it was a grand slam, but he destroyed the ball.
Yeah.
I was all the way in the back stands, and there's lights in our line of vision, on the top of the dome.
Yeah.
The ball missed us by 20 feet.
Oh, man.
That's like 500 feet.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
I didn't even feel like I was at the baseball game because I was so far away.
Right.
But the seats were $20 and the beer's free.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, the Yankee fans, we started a lot of fights against them because I don't like the Yankee fans and they do not like me. All right. Evan Longoria. I mean, he's a third baseman. Let's see who's down the list for third base. Man, it goes a while before you get to Josh Donaldson, but
okay,
I'd pick up Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson's all the way at 51.
Wow.
I would drop Evan Longoria. He's at 25. I'd drop him down to 51 and put Josh Donaldson.
Yeah, I'd be okay with that. And, I'm trying to think who else is a good third baseman.
I mean, it goes for a while
wow.
without there being a third baseman.
Third base is kind of weak this year.
Yeah.
Manny Machado, I wonder where he is on that list.
I mean, in the top third baseman, Miguel Cabrera. And then
who I think is going to play mostly first base.
Then it's Adrian Beltre, which we decided would be 12th pick.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way down to David Wright, which kept his spot at 19.
I will go over more of this stuff and more after the break, but it's time for a break, so...
After the break, we actually have another challenge, too.
Okay,
so make
great.
sure and stay here, listen to the challenge, tweet us if you hate what we're saying, tweet us if you like what we're saying. We'll be back after the break. And very, very interesting stuff going on here. We're doing the top 300, but we're going to take a break from that. And once again, plug, we are having a live draft on air March 20th. And that'll be from 2 to 4. And, we're looking for 6 individuals to come on, step up, and challenge us, because we will take you down, but we want to make sure you enjoy yourself and are entertained in the process.
Yeah, definitely.
And also, if you want to follow us, you can follow the show itself at Fantasy Fan Show on Twitter. You can follow me, Freeman Radio. That's my Twitter handle. How can they follow you?
You can follow me at Ryan Stuppridge on Twitter, and you also follow the Fantasy Fanatics stuff, and also like the Fantasy Fanatics page on Facebook too.
Yeah, we haven't really posted any pictures or anything yet because we haven't taken them technically. So we will get on that. We'll add some content and get Also, you can follow us on Instagram. We're posting pictures right now of the show behind the scenes. My Instagram is Freeman Radio. And do you even have an Instagram?
I do. It's just Ryan Stuppridge.
Why are you not following me?
I don't know.
I post the most important pictures in the world.
I don't really use my Instagram. I usually just get either tagged in something. I think I have one photo that I've posted of
You're
myself.
just a taker. You're an Instagram taker.
Yeah.
I just want to get tagged. I don't want to post any pictures.
Right.
You fools. That's awesome. Now, up next, we got Fantasy Farm, which is about the upcoming prospects in baseball. And Ryan Stuppridge will be leading that.
Yes. And that is exciting because we got, top 10 prospects in the MLB. Did you want me to start? Did you want me to
not
go
for
into
Fantasy
this?
Farm.
Right,
no.
right. Yeah.
But we'll go on in the top 300. We're breaking down the top 300 like I've been saying for the past hour and a half.
Because
so.
these are the guys that you'll be drafting.
These are the
so
guys
it's very
you're gonna be
important to
drafting.
know.
If you don't get this information, we already beat you.
Yeah.
I wrote all this stuff down. You can go on the internet and search it all you want, but I have it written down, and I'm telling you, I'm helping you out. I'm giving you a chance to beat me.
That's right.
I'm like that guy that's gives you the first hit, put my hands behind my back, and I'm like, go for it. I'm giving you all the information, all you need to know. So, going on. Number 26, another starting pitcher that is a lefty, Cliff Lee.
Cliff Lee. He's been around for a while, but he's been pretty good.
He's still throwing heat. 14-8, 222 strikeouts, 287, a 2.87 that is on the ERA, and a 1.01 WHIP, which isn't bad at all.
No, not at all. That's pretty good.
Now, number 27 is I'd like to say is pretty decent. Pretty decent pitcher himself, Adam Wainwright.
Yeah, he's a really good pitcher for St. Louis.
19-9, 219 strikeouts, 2.94 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, and that is a challenge. I am challenging Cliff Lee versus Adam Wainwright. Career ERA. Cliff Lee, ERA, career is a 3.51.
Yeah.
What do you think? It's all right.
It's okay.
It's okay. Last year's walks, he walked 32 batters. That's not bad at all.
No, that's very good.
But, he allowed 22 home runs.
Yeah, that's a little interesting.
Career ERA for Mr. Adam Wainwright, 3.11. 3.11. That's better.
Yeah.
35 walks. He walked more people. Note that. But home runs. This is the difference here. He only allowed 15.
Yeah.
So if we look back at
really
the stats, Cliff Lee 14-8. Adam Wainwright had a better overall winning percentage. Strikeouts, he was only off by 3 against Cliff Lee. Cliff Lee had 222. Adam Wainwright had 219.
Yeah.
ERAs, very similar, 2.87, 2.94. And then whips, very close, 1.01, 1.07. But I think Adam Wainwright takes it.
Yeah, I think we both agreed that Adam Wainwright would win this one.
Just the career ERA is .40 better.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he walked more people, but he allowed less home runs.
Yeah.
So Adam Wainwright moves up. Cliff Lee moves down, and plus there's an age difference.
Yeah, there definitely is.
Yeah. Number 28, Yasiel Puig.
Yasiel.
Now we actually Googled the way to say Puig.
Yeah, we Googled how to pronounce his name. It was very
Pug.
confusing.
Puig
Puig,
or
I don't
Puig.
know.
It said Puig or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's a Spanish.
Puig, something like that.
But he has impressive numbers, batting .319, 66 runs.
And he came up in June. So
He came up in June, so this isn't a full season. 66 runs, 19 home runs, 42 RBIs. He was batting, when he first came, he was batting very high.
Mm-hmm.
And then he dropped to a 285 average after that hot month.
Yeah.
But still, for a guy that's just coming from the minors to get 42 RBIs, 19 home runs, and a half season.
Yeah.
And he had 11 steals.
Yeah.
And that is a
that's pretty good.
back-to-back challenge. We are challenging
Back-to-back.
Evan Longoria against Yasiel Puig. Puego. I don't know.
Fuego.
If you know his last name, please call in.
Let us know.
Yeah. For correct enunciation. Evan Longoria career batting average is .275. It's all right.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. His GIP, he played most of the season last year.
Yes, he did have a full season, I think.
His grounder in double play is a GIP 16.
Okay.
Not bad. Strikeouts 162.
Yeah, that's a little high.
His runners in scoring position batting average was a .265.
Okay. Not bad.
Not bad. Career batting average for Yasiel was a .319. His GIP was a 6, but he only played half the season.
Yeah, so you figure if he played full season, he'd have 12, maybe.
At least, yeah. You would say that, 12. Strikeouts, 97.
Yeah, I mean, he swings for the fences a lot, so, I mean, that doesn't really
does.
surprise me. But
And then he
high.
doesn't have the clutch gene, only a .234 RISP.
Yeah, that's bad.
That's bad. So we let Evan Longoria keep his title.
Yep.
And just decided, hey, he had a bad season last year.
Yeah.
But when it comes to getting a third baseman, Josh Donaldson, for sure. Pick up Josh Donaldson instead. I mean, I would put Evan Longoria down to the 51 spot. But I'd also put Yasiel Puig. I think that's inflated where his position is.
Right.
I would think, what position is he? He's an outfielder?
He plays right field.
I mean, I'd put Stanton above him. I'd put Shin Su above him.
Yeah.
Justin Upton. Yeah, he's I don't think he's top 60.
No.
All right. And now we are down to Felix Hernandez.
Felix Hernandez. King Felix.
King Felix.
Threw a perfect game in 2012.
Starting pitcher, perfect game. He was an okay 12 games won, 10 games lost. That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, he's on Seattle, so.
Yeah, Seattle.
You got to cut him some slack
He
there.
doesn't really get run support in Seattle.
No, he'll get more this year, though.
Like, I look at a pitcher in Seattle, and I'm like, oh, they have really good stats.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they have so many? Oh, yeah, Seattle can't bat.
Like, I don't know if you remember that guy, Jason Vargas, who pitched for
Jason
Seattle.
Vargas was very good.
Yeah, he was a lot of people didn't know him. He was underrated because he was on Seattle, and then he went to, I think, the Angels.
And then, bam, he was good.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he is now. He might still be on the Angels, but he's been a pretty quality pitcher.
Jason Vargas usually mid-season is around a 2.8 on the ERA.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very high in the strikeouts, but he's consistent.
Yeah, he's consistent. He gets wins.
But if you
is
don't
good.
have a consistently good offense, that does not help pitching. That's why you got to get Texas pitchers. You got to get Yankee pitchers.
Right.
I mean, they're going to win the games.
We got to do an update now.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Well, we got 2 minutes.
Okay.
Let's just finish
Yeah,
out
we're
the
good,
top
we're good.
30. We only have one more person.
That's what I thought I would
talk about.
like. I knew we were getting close to 30. So.
Yeah. Once again, Felix Hernandez, 3.04 ERA. That's not bad at all.
No.
1.13 WHIP. That's also good.
Yeah.
Felix Hernandez is a good pitcher. He just doesn't on a good team. Will you agree with that?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Number 30 and the final person of the day is Alex Rios.
Yeah, it's a little surprising that he made it into the top 30. I think there's some other guys that got snubbed. Like,
what position does he play?
Alex Rios is an outfielder. He's also right field, I believe, for the Rangers. I know he was
Alex
right field
Rios
for the Sox.
above Yasiel then? I mean, I would.
I would just because of the experience, yes. But I mean, Alex Rios really, I don't think he's a good enough player to be in the top 30, really.
Yeah.
There's guys like Ryan Zimmerman. There's guys like
Zimmerman's not in the top 6. Well, he's 58.
Yeah, I know, which is a little surprising to me.
Was he injured or something?
He was injured a little bit of the season, but he had a pretty good year. He batted 285, something like that.
That's pretty. Zimmerman batted. You were close. You're 1 decimal point.
Oh, okay.
It's 275. He batted.
275.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's a little worse, but it's not that bad. So
not bad at all.
I always use him as an example because he's one of my favorite players.
I'd probably push Yasiel Puig. I'll take him from 28th and actually drop him down to 58.
Yeah.
I'd move all the outfielders a little bit, maybe switch a few around. But I want to take Yasiel Puig because there's just not enough. We don't know enough about him.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's difficult when you don't know enough about a person.
All right. It is now 3:30. That was our top 30 of the 300. We will be going through the weeks and continuing this week by week, Friday 2 to 4.
Yes.
And that, once again, this is Freeman.
This is Ryan.
With my buddy Ryan. And, yeah. So, but we have 2 minutes to tease.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes to tease some stuff. Then we'll go into our break.
Next week's show, Friday 2 to 4, we'll actually be going over 30 to 60 on the top 300.
This is Jeff Randolph.
And we have a lot of challenges to go through on that list. And also, we'll be doing the DL and the ALNL, of course. And Ryan will have some more fantasy prospects.
Yeah.
We might even have a phone-in with one of our challengers for the... We're calling it the FFBL, the Fantasy Fanatics Fantasy Baseball League.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful, isn't it?
It is.
It's almost too long.
Yeah, it's a little too long. But, hey, it catches your attention.
It's good times. So if you want to be part of the league, go ahead and tweet us at Fantasy Fan Show, and we'll get back to you and let you know if you're part of the league. It just matters how intense you are.
Yeah.
I want the most intense.
Got to be intense.
All right, and now we're going to the break, but we'll be back after this.
Now it's time for Fantasy Farm.
This is Freeman, crack enthusiast on Crack Weekly. I love that commercial.
It is a good commercial. I'm Ryan Stuppridge, as we just heard the wonderfully produced Fantasy Farm intro.
Yes, thank you. I made it myself. Actually, I did, but no biggie. Now, Ryan, you've done diligent research.
I have.
On the upcoming stars, the future MLB stars. What's going on with that?
Well, these are the top 10 MLB prospects who are currently, in the minors. A couple of them have played a little bit, but like in the major leagues. But number 1, Byron Buxton, outfielder from the Twins organization. He was a 2012 first round, second pick, draft pick. And some of his numbers, he batted .334.
Really good.
Which is good. 77 RBIs, which is good too.
Mm-hmm.
109 runs, and that was in 125 games. He also had 163 hits altogether. So that was good. He has low power. He's fast. He had 55 stolen bases. So
that's really impressive.
As you can tell, he's definitely a leadoff hitter.
Yeah. Once you get to the MLB, though, you can cut those pretty much in half.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll get 25.
Yeah.
Maybe
and that goes for
steals.
everybody. Like, you can always sort of cut their stats in half when they hit the majors because it's going to be tougher to hit major league pitching.
It's different. You can't just...
Yeah. And I also wrote a little note here. Keep Ks down. He had some high Ks. So if he keeps those down, he'd probably be in the majors faster.
Yeah, I mean he's no Ellsbury. Ellsbury with 52 stolen bases
that's
in
crazy.
the MLB.
Yeah,
but he's one of the best prospects like out there.
Yeah, and that's why he's number one, obviously. And
like we were reading the prospects before we did the show. We were just prepping, and I was looking at the list and was like, after the first 2 or 3, it's sort of like mix and match at that point because they all pretty much have the same stats.
You know, I think this also changes daily because I think I was looking earlier in the week before I wrote this. I was looking earlier in the week, and Chris Bryant, the third base prospect for the Cubs, was like number 6 or 7. Now he's not even on the list I typed up.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm hoping that doesn't change too much as we go through.
It's an ever-changing list, yes. We'll go through 11 through 20 next week.
Yeah, and I'm hoping 11 through 20 doesn't have some of these names
these are
pop
just,
up again.
These are the guys that you can't really handcuff, but keep an eye on. Like, if someone gets injured in the major leagues, which is going to happen.
And also, especially if you're a baseball team that's not that good, you know, you're going to constantly be looking at these guys, waiting for them to come up, and you're going to keep an eye on them. Like, I know as a Cubs fan, I have my eye on, Javier Baez, Jorge Soler, and
like
Chris Bryant.
Like last year, Vecito came up. Like, it was his first year starting.
Yeah.
And, he was a prospect like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
He does okay. He's high on strikeouts, too, though.
Yeah, he is. Number 2 on this list, Oscar Taveras, outfielder for the Cardinals. He was not drafted, but he was signed in November 2008. He's either from, I think he's from the Dominican Republic.
Of course.
That's why he was signed, not drafted. He debuted in 2013 in the minors, so he had some time in between. Had a .310 batting average.
That's good.
32 RBIs, and 25 runs, and that's in 47 games. So he hasn't played as many minor league games as Brian Buxton, who played 125. But Oscar Taveras played 47 games. He has tons of speed. He doesn't strike out a lot. He's a pure contact hitter, which would definitely help out a team like the Cardinals, who they're always a good contact hitting team.
Yeah.
So he's outfielder for the Cardinals, and I mean his runs.
How many does it show steals? Like, how many steals did he have?
I didn't write how many steals he had, but I remember he had a good amount of steals. Not as much as Buxton, but
so like in the
I think he had 30 something.
40, 30.
I think he had 30 something. Yeah, and Byron Buxton had 55. So that's really good. Like, you're excited to just. You don't want the person to get injured, so he'll take his place, but you really want to see what he can do in the major leagues. Yeah. And the next person on the list is Miguel Sano, who is the third base prospect for the Twins. So the Twins have the number 1 prospect and the number 3 prospect, and as you can tell, they haven't really had that many good seasons in the past. I mean, they went to the playoffs, I think, in 2009 was the last time they lost to the Yankees in the playoffs. But
I think it's mostly because of their pitching. They're not a big pitching team. They haven't been that strong.
Right, and they've been pretty bad the last few years. I mean, they pretty much only had, at one point, they just had Morneau and Mauer, and then Morneau went to Pittsburgh, and now he's with Colorado. And now you pretty much got Mauer, and they got Nolasco, who's a pitcher. Who's
Mauer,
an ace.
like, last season, didn't he get, like, leg fatigue or something like that?
He had something really weird where he had to, like, keep going in the pool and, like, exercising his leg or something.
It's just a weird thing to be.
It was definitely weird.
I have leg fatigue. Like, I don't go to the doctor for that. Usually lift some weights or something. Lift some weights or something, man.
Yeah. It was interesting because he... I don't really know what happened to him last year, but he wasn't playing a whole lot. But Miguel Sano, he's third base prospect for the Twins, signed in October 2009, batted .280, so that was good. 103 RBIs, very good.
Yeah, that's excellent.
So he's probably a middle of the order hitter. He had 86 runs, 123 hits, in 123 games.
Maybe not top. He won't be like 2 or 3, but maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Like after the sweeper, they'll bring him in. He won't be like the lead hitter, but he'll be middle guy for the second.
Yeah. He has a lot of power. He draws walks, but he's a little high on strikeouts, so if he could just lower the strikeouts, he'd be good.
Yeah, and that takes a good batting coach, really.
Yes. Yeah. Number 4 is Taijuan Walker, who had 3 Major League starts last year for the Mariners towards the end of the season, had a 3.60 ERA in those games. He was a 2010 draft pick, first round 43rd pick, so he wasn't picked very high, but he's done pretty well. He had, in the minors, he has a 2.93 ERA and 141 innings pitched, 160 Ks, 25 games started, and his batting average against 217. So he's
Is this a pitching prospect?
Yes.
How many strikeouts did he have?
160.
That's pretty impressive.
And that was in 25 games.
That's not bad at all.
It's very good. And he has a great curve and change up, and he just needs to tighten up on his command. If he tightens up on his command, he would be a lot better off.
Scherzer had a really big issue. He had an issue with his fastball. His fastball usually has a little change-up at the end. It's like a natural thing that happens to his fastball.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to work on, I think it was his footing. He was talking about how he had to get the same stance every time, where his foot landed when he pitched the ball. And he had a subpar season, and then bam, he's top 20 pitchers right now. So it's all about finding that rhythm, and I hope this guy gets it. I think he'll be a really good pitcher.
Yeah, he's had 3 career starts in the majors, so he's already got at least a little experience.
Do you know the record on those?
The record, he had 1 win.
1 win? That's not bad.
In 3 starts.
That's
so
not bad.
And, he was on the Mariners, so the Mariners
I mean,
weren't doing
that's
very well.
that's even more impressive.
Yeah.
If you're going to win on the Mariners and you're, coming up from Farm League, that should be a shutout.
Number 5, Francisco Lindor, shortstop for Cleveland. He was a 2011 first-round pick. He batted .303, 34 RBIs, 65 runs, 122 hits in 104 games. And he's a great hitter, scores runs, and he walks a lot, so that helps. Because he had 65 runs, which is really good. And that he's a prospect for Cleveland, and he's a shortstop. He's the first shortstop on this list. So
I like how Cleveland's looking lately.
Yeah.
Just their team seems to be coming together nicely. I mean, isn't Kipnis in Cleveland?
Yeah, Jason Kipnis.
He came up from their farm league, and he's actually doing something.
Yeah, he is.
So I really like where the Indians are going.
Yeah. Number 6, Xander Bogaerts. And if you've heard that name before, that's because he's played in 18 MLB games with Boston, batting .250, but he had 5 RBIs only or something. And he was signed in August 2009. In the minors, he has a .297 batting average.
Okay, so the .250 was an MLB.
Yeah.
That's not that bad.
So he went .297 in the minors, .250 in the majors in 18 games. So going back to the minors, 67 RBIs, 72 runs, 132 hits in 116 games. So that was good too. And he's
when was he drafted? What year?
He was signed in 2009.
He's got a little bit more work to do, but I can see him fitting in nicely with the Boston.
Yeah, he's a shortstop too, so and that's where Boston really needs help.
Yeah.
Because you have Steven Drew or whatever. He's not going to be there much longer because he's pretty old.
Yeah, he's. I felt like he already hit. I was surprised he was still with Boston last year.
Yeah, but hey, he got
his
that
batting average is around 260.
Yeah,
just not that impressive in numbers either.
Number 7, Archie Bradley, right-handed pitcher from Arizona. Or in the Arizona farm system. He was a 2011 first-round 7th pick, 1.84 ERA. That really stands out to me. 1.84 ERA.
That's really impressive.
152 innings pitched, 162 Ks.
Wow.
In 152 innings.
Wow.
20, and that's in 26 games.
What's the prospect for? What team?
Arizona.
Okay.
So for the Diamondbacks. And
they have a young team.
the batters hit .215 against him, so he's just doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's good.
Big strikeout guy, 95-mile-per-hour fastball, ground ball pitcher. So anytime you see ground ball pitcher, and I saw this in his notes as I was writing it down, it said ground ball pitcher. Anytime you see that, he's a good guy because you want ground ball pitchers.
Yeah.
And
You don't want the pop guys.
Right.
Because that's where the home runs come from.
if you got ground ball, he's a ground ball pitcher and big strikeouts. That's like ding, ding, ding. That's like
winner.
two biggest things there. So watch out for this Archie Bradley. He's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, and is this your final?
Well, we're on number 8 right now.
Okay.
So I'm going to go through these last 3 really quick, and next week I can go over them again to recap. Carlos Correa, shortstop for Houston. He was the first pick in Houston in the 2012 draft.
Nice.
320 batting average, 86 RBIs, 73 runs, 144 hits in 117 games. He has a great glove, good power, and has 400 and has a very good at bats. I'm not quite sure what I wrote there, but he's has a 320 batting average, so that was good, and that's in 117 games. Number 9 is Javier Baez, shortstop for the Cubs. He's with the Tennessee Smokies right now. He was drafted in 2011 with the 9th pick. 282 batting average, 111 RBIs, 98 runs, 146 hits, 130 games. He also has a lot of power. For a shortstop, that's pretty good. He has awesome power, instincts, good hands. And the final name on this list, Jameson Talion, or Talion, I don't really know. But he's a right...
Talion.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, whatever.
It's Tal and then Lon. I don't know. He's a right-handed pitcher in the Pittsburgh system. He was the second pick in 2010. So the Pirates had the second pick then because they were so bad in 2009, I guess.
Yeah, well, McCutcheon didn't really, I think he really came out in 2011.
Yeah. He had, so this guy, 3.73 ERA in 147 innings pitched, 143 Ks, very good. 26 games started, and batters batted 249 against him, so not as good as some of the other pitchers on this list, but he has a great fastball, curve is good, 96, 97 mile per hour.
He throws the heat.
So he throws the heat, so that could be a plus too.
Yeah, all he needs is a second pitch, and you
That's
can play
right.
in the MLB.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Well, that was a
Yes.
fast 2 hours.
That was
wasn't
it went by very quickly. It was a lot of fun, though. I hope you guys had fun, too. Go ahead and tweet us at Fantasy Fan Show. And, yeah,
Yeah.
tell us how we did. Say if you like the show. Say what we can do differently.
Obviously this is our first show, so, it'll get
Yeah.
more effective as we go on. But I think this was very good for our first show.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. I'm having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Next week, we'll go over the top. We're going through 31 of 60 of the Knicks' top 300.
Right.
And he'll be doing the prospects 11 through 20.
Yes.
And
And
we'll also post some tweets and have some stuff on our fan page on Facebook. Just look up Fantasy Fanatics on Facebook and you'll find us.
we'll see you then.
Have a good one.
Until next time, goodbye.